Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Hi guys. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience with postpartum anxiety. If you are new here or you don't follow me over on Instagram, I had a baby about 6 months ago and I've definitely had some ups and downs with my mental health. My intentions in sharing my journey and my story with postpartum anxiety is that number one, I just want to share with you guys what I've been going through. Number two, if you are postpartum, if you're pregnant, or if generally you are just struggling with your mental health, I hope that this video makes you feel less alone. I think I would have loved to see a video like this while I was very fresh postpartum. And number three, if you're struggling with your mental health in any way, shape, or form, I hope this video encourages you to reach out and get the help that you need and that you don't feel ashamed to do so. If you are someone who is seeking help right now with your mental health, I will link some resources below in the description box so you guys can check that out after you watch the video. Let's get started and hop into this. So what is postpartum anxiety? If you've never been pregnant and you haven't really spent time around people who have kids or recently had a baby, postpartum anxiety, the definition is basically excessive worrying after having a baby. I've had anxiety my entire life, but never like this. So for me, my anxiety was absolutely the worst in the evenings. Every single night when the sun would go down, I would get this feeling of impending doom. And it was kind of sadness, it was kind of anxiety, it was a lot of fear. I felt very, very scared, almost confused, and it would just take over my entire body. Of course, sleep is always difficult when you have a newborn, and I was exclusively breastfeeding at the time, but for me, the biggest issue was I would wake up, I would feed Teddy, and I would not be able to fall back asleep. When I wouldn't be able to fall back asleep, I would start panicking. So if I woke up at 3 a.m. and I fed her and put her back down, then I would just be thinking, oh my God, I have to wake up again in another 2 hours, another 3 hours, and I would be obsessively counting the time until I had to wake up again, and I would just be thinking, oh my God, I need to go to sleep now. If I don't go to sleep now, then I won't be able to wake up in 2 hours. And I would just like literally have that train of thoughts on loop over and over again. And then I would start freaking out. I would wake up Kyle and I would just be absolutely panicking. And I could not get out of this like prison of thinking and this like super vicious cycle of the same thoughts over and over again. The other thing that I really struggled with was intrusive thoughts. So I would always have dreams that Teddy was tangled up in the sheets with me, or that she was suffocating in bed with me. Or for example, if I would be around the house with her, I would picture me dropping her, someone else dropping her, falling down the stairs with her. If I managed to get outside with her, I would picture accidentally letting go of the stroller or someone coming over and pushing the stroller over. I called them final destination thoughts. I would just constantly be thinking about the most insane, ridiculous, horrible thing that could be happening to the both of us. It really hits you like a ton of bricks. Like you're like, oh my God, why did I just think about that? There's like something wrong with me. Like, why am I thinking about like my child being hurt? And it was just really difficult and really confusing and really anxiety inducing. I don't know how else to explain it. Also, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but it's the truth and I want to share it with you guys. I felt really afraid to be alone with Teddy, go anywhere alone with her. I actually don't think that I went outside with Teddy by myself in the stroller until she was 6 weeks old because I was that scared. I was afraid that she was going to freak out and start crying, or what if something bad happened, or what if I didn't know what to do. In general, I just felt like I didn't know how to be a mother outside of like the comfort of our apartment. So anything that took us outside of this like safe space just sent me into a total spiral. And I just, in general, I was such a new mom. I just felt like I didn't know what to do, and I was afraid that something would happen to me, to her, and I just wouldn't know what to do, and that would just make me crumble with anxiety. The other thing that I struggled with was DMER, which is called Dysphoric Milk Ejection Reflex. Every single time I would breastfeed or every single time I would pump, for the first 1 to 2 minutes, I would get this overwhelming, full body, sad, gloom, embarrassed, shameful, want to crawl out of my skin, anxious, uncomfortable feeling. It would take over my entire body for the first 1 to 2 minutes. And this is basically your body reacting to a bunch of the hormone fluctuations that are happening when you're about to release milk. I was nursing and breastfeeding every 2 to 3 hours. So dealing with that massive emotional and hormonal fluctuation every few hours was really, really difficult. Also, while we're on the topic of breastfeeding, I also felt like I put so much of my self-worth on how much milk I was producing. So if I didn't produce a lot one day, I was super anxious and super upset. And then the days that I would produce a lot, I was really happy. Even though Teddy started sleeping through the night, I never slept through the night for those first 5 months. I would still wake up to pump because I wanted to continue to build up my freezer stash. But I also would not be able to fall back asleep after I did that pumping session. So I think the combination of all that anxiety and plus never really getting a full night's didn't sleep. It just really had a huge impact on me. So once I stopped nursing, I finally slept fully through the night, and that was pretty transformative because, as you know, sleep is awesome and really important. I think a couple of other things that were really not helping was like, I was spending a lot of time on social media. I got really tuned into like the other women who gave birth around the same time as me. And so I would watch their Instagrams and their TikToks or whatever it might be. And I just felt like motherhood looked so different on them. I felt like everyone looked like they were doing a better job. It looked like they were having a lot more fun doing it. And it made me feel really embarrassed and ashamed and sad and anxious. And I felt like I got into a really dark hole of comparing myself to others. And I know that's really common with social media, and I haven't really had that so bad in the past for some reason, but motherhood very much triggered that for me. I think also, if I'm being honest, the body changes were really hard. Obviously during pregnancy, you go through that journey, and then postpartum, your body is just so different. Plus, if you're nursing, like, your body kind of belongs to your baby. And I just felt like I had these huge like 36 double D boobs, and I felt like I didn't really like recognize myself. Like I was like, I don't know this body. I don't know how to work and live and dress this body. And I think that gave me a lot of anxiety too, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, now let's get into what actually helped. Number one was therapy. I actually had a therapist previous to being pregnant and postpartum, but I didn't feel like she was the right person to kind of guide me through this massive transitional phase in my life. So I actually found a therapist who specialized in postpartum depression and anxiety. It's just really helpful to have someone who is neutral, who is there, who is willing to listen to every single crazy, intrusive thought that I had. And she really gave me some tools to work through my anxiety, help me work through some of these vicious cycles that I felt like I was in. I feel like a good therapist is just so valuable, so helpful for every single phase and period of your life. So I really encourage you to find someone that works for you, find someone that you really get along with, because once you find that person, it's so special, it's so helpful, and it's so valuable. The second thing that really helped was working out. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I absolutely love working out. I've even posted some videos on here, but because I had so much anxiety, I had so much pent up energy, working out helped me so much. Like I just needed to walk, I needed to do stairs, I needed to get it out because, you know, one of my therapists said, you know, you should think of your anxiety, it's almost like a vibrancy. And it didn't feel vibrant, but I definitely felt like electricity was like pulsing through my body, and I needed to exert it every single day, and it helped so much. And like I mentioned earlier, the evenings were absolutely the hardest for me, so I actually changed my workouts to the evenings. I would work out around that, like I called it my very own witching hour. Teddy had her witching hour, was always like, you know, when babies go through that phase. Mine was like 4:30, 5 o'clock, because that's when the sun was setting. When I was very fresh postpartum. So I would make sure to work out around that 4:30, 5 o'clock period. So during that period, I was moving, I was sweating, I was doing something that felt really good. That really helped keep some of those super anxious kind of blue feelings at bay. The thing that really helped was focusing on my community of women and other moms. The minute after I gave birth, I was like, I need to reach out to every single mom friend that I have. First of all, to say like, I'm so sorry, I had no idea that you went through this. But secondly, I knew that I really needed to become closer with other women who were mothers or pregnant or freshly postpartum. You know, I felt like communicating with friends and having that community made me feel so much less alone, which was so important during that period. So I really encourage you to reach out to your mom friends, find new mom friends, whether that's joining a community on Instagram, Facebook, or online or something like that. You just need to have a place to kind of say to another mom, like, this is what I'm going through right now. And I promise you, you will feel less alone in this whole entire experience. Yeah, one other thing that was really helpful to me, which was kind of counterintuitive, was actually working again. I actually started joining calls for my skincare brand Covey about 2 to 3 weeks postpartum. I didn't think I was going to be ready to do something like that. I was planning on taking a much more formal and longer maternity leave, but actually working again and being on calls and being on emails made me feel like myself again. Talking about Covey and things we were working on there just made me feel kind of at home and kind of at peace, because I was like, oh, I know about this. I know how to do this. I know what's going on. I feel secure and I feel confident in this space. I think that working was a very, very welcome distraction and something that helped me kind of take myself out of my body, and it allowed me to feel a little bit more like myself in a period where I felt so not like myself. Like I mentioned earlier, the other thing that was really helpful was stopping breastfeeding. I'm really, really proud of myself that I nursed for 5 months exclusively. It was definitely the hardest thing that I had ever done in my life. But if I'm being honest with myself and if I'm being honest with you guys, I 100% should have stopped a lot earlier. But I'm so glad that Teddy got all of the nutrition and everything she needed from me and everything that I had to give for those first couple of months. But me and nursing was just like not a good combination, I think, for my mental health. I know that now because once I stopped nursing, I just felt so much better. I felt so much happier. I felt lighter. I felt like I could enjoy Teddy. I could enjoy motherhood. I know that it's hard to stop. I know that it is like such a huge and amazing emotional bond with your baby, but I can only speak from my own experience, and it helped my mental health significantly when I stopped. The other thing that really helped my postpartum anxiety was doing anxiety-inducing activities with Teddy. Let me explain. Meaning I was afraid to go outside with Teddy. I was afraid to go to my parents with Teddy. I was afraid to wear Teddy like in one of those baby carrier things. I was afraid of so many things. But once I forced myself to do those things, everything felt a little bit easier. It came a little bit easier. It wasn't so scary. I definitely needed a lot of hand holding to get through a lot of those things. I had Kyle to help me get through it. Sometimes I had my mom help me get through it. My mom was definitely there the first time I went outside with Teddy in the stroller and the first time I wore her, because she would just be like, come on, like, let's do it. Like, it'll be fun. And she really encouraged me, because even when she would visit, I would be like, no, I just want to like stay home. I don't want to leave. Like, we're with Teddy. Like, I'm scared. Once I started doing those anxiety inducing activities, realizing that they were not going to kill me and everything was going to be okay and Teddy was going to be okay. And then it helped me better and more easily integrate Teddy into my life, if that makes sense. And the last thing that was super helpful, and I share this last because it might not be helpful to you right now, is time. Time really helped. I felt a lot better at 8 weeks. I felt significantly better at 12 weeks. I felt significantly better at 5 months, especially after I stopped nursing. Time really, really helped. I got more adjusted to being a mother. I got more adjusted to this new role. I got more adjusted to how Teddy integrates into our entire lives. I think it was just a massive transitional phase, and I needed some time to kind of get used to it. All right, everyone, that concludes my journey, my story with postpartum anxiety. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you're pregnant or postpartum, or if you're struggling with your mental health right now, I hope this video makes you feel less alone, and I hope it encourages you to get the help that you need, whether it be support from a therapist, support from a friend, go outside to get some fresh air, do some sort of activity. I wanted to share those few things with you that really helped me kind of get through this period of my life. You know, although it was incredibly difficult, I will be having more children. I will be going through this again, but I pray that it'll be a little bit easier the next time. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to my story, for listening to my journey. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.